Some of you will see a good chance for rain the rest of the week. Others will be warming back up. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather. Fantastic to see you on a Wednesday, friends. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, we're going to talk about a couple of areas that will continue to see some elevated rain chances. I've got some pictures and videos to show you in many of your areas. And we'll talk about the forecast as we get closer to the weekend. As always, I love the Meteo Mundo weather community. Let me know where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. We'll get started, and of course, doing that by welcoming our sponsor here to Meteo Mundo, the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida. They are your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They cover the entire state. They represent homeowners, condo owners, and associations. Anything that could impact you or your property, be it hail, hurricanes, floods, burst pipes, car accidents. They're there to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process, offering free consultations and policy reviews. Go to leanonmelaw.com or call 407-502-0053. This is the enhanced satellite imagery for you here. These are your live temperatures on the board. Obviously, there's a big disparity in temperatures. We get that this time of the year, where places like Bermuda are just above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Portions of the Bahamas have struggled to get into the lower 70s, and then you get into the southern sides of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, places like Santo Domingo towards Lacaille and Port-au-Prince. Some areas have reached 90 degrees Fahrenheit today. That is around 32 degrees plus Celsius. It's gotten warmer outside. We are going to continue to see some cool conditions push through portions of the Bahamas. That's going to continue to be the case here. Slight warm up is on the way, but again, Freeport today just in at 70, Nassau, New Providence 73. It's been a lovely day in the Turks and Caicos, coming in at 79. There's the warmer weather that I mentioned through portions of the southern sides of Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Still a little bit cooler air to the north because we've had a couple of showers pass through those areas. Our friends in Jamaica for today, Kingston up to 86, Montego Bay hitting at 82. This is the water vapor imagery. And again, this time of the year, the moisture quality is not as prominent as it is during the hurricane season, right? So when we look at the layer from bottom to top across the atmosphere here, you're going to overall get a composite of drier air. That doesn't mean that we don't have some shower activity here. Let me show you the visible satellite imagery for today and show you that we continue to have some streaks of showers drifting off to the south through portions of the Lesser and the Greater Antilles, including the northern sides of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Lesser Antilles, especially the Leeward Islands. This is what it looks like on the surface analysis. There's the boundary that I'm talking about. There is also this elongated trough along a stone boundary over the Lesser Antilles. That's a focusing mechanism for some stronger winds to kick up the sea conditions, but also providing some showers all the way along that trough line back to the ABC Islands. The ABC Islands have been one of the areas with some more significant rain. Another front is on the way, friends. It's going to reinforce some cooler, drier air, but down the road, we'll be talking about a significant storm developing in the southern plains and the western Gulf of Mexico, which is going to bring more active weather to our northeast zones. But for today, we'll continue to see some clouds again drift across the area right now. My computer not liking all of this data, but that's okay. Anguilla, St. Bart's, Saba, St. Eustatius, Anagua, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John. Again, some clouds, a bit of a northeast breeze, and daytime highs today that were a bit on the cooler side in the upper 70s to lower 80s Fahrenheit. If you had a few showers on the northern sides of the islands, let me know in the comments section below. Notice the difference. Ponce today on the southern sides of Puerto Rico got up to around 90 degrees. The thicker cloud coverage was kind of right here, Barbuda and Antigua and Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis and Guadeloupe. You get south of that cloud coverage towards Dominica and Martinique, temperatures begun to warm up a bit. We continue to see the swells kick in as well. St. Lucia for today in the mid 80s, same thing for our friends in Barbados. And these clouds have brought a few passing showers to these areas. I can tell you this, officially Trinidad and Tobago has now fallen under the dry season. Doesn't mean they're not going to catch some scattered showers. Some of that will be in the evening and overnight, but again, we're beginning to see more areas kind of get into their official dry seasons here as we get deeper into January. Now, an area that has actually had some very active weather the last several days with some good rain are our friends in the ABC Islands. It's drying out a bit on this Wednesday, but we've had some solid rain in this area, and I have some pictures pictures and videos to show you out of that. Boy, my friends in the ABC Islands have really come through. This is Kurth from Willemstad there in Curacao. There's obviously a very large cruise port there in Willemstad. And you can see the thick clouds and the rain that passed through the Curacao area over the last couple of days. This is a picture from Leonard there. He is in Bonaire, the Santa Barbara area. Look at the moisture-laden air, the really dark clouds bringing some showers across Bonaire. And we're not done. We're going to move on over to Jaden and Santa Colas, Aruba. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing that exactly right, but look at this video. That's some solid rain there in the eastern part of Aruba. You can see again some localized street flooding there, and the showers are just coming down. I appreciate my friends throughout the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, helping to tell the weather story here at Meteo Mundo. And if you would like to send a picture or video in from your area, all you have to do is email me, mymetiomundo@gmail.com. Of course, include your name, where the picture video is from. You want to give me a little description as well. I appreciate that. So obviously, active weather for the last few days here. Rain chances will be coming down a bit, but not completely dry. We'll follow this over towards the southwestern sides of the Caribbean, where isolated to scattered showers continue for Panama and Costa Rica as moisture continues to come up over the eastern sides of the Pacific. We've seen some scattered showers try and slam their way into portions of northern Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, the southern sides of Quintana Roo as well. You can see on the Pacific side some very, very hot temperatures even for this time of the year. But there's some of that cloud coverage across Utila and Roatan and Guanaja, towards Placencia and Dangriga and Belize City, keeping temperatures very pleasant. If you had a couple of showers in this area, let me know in the comments section below. The air gets a little bit drier the farther north that you go. Right now, a lot of Quintana Roo is dry, but there is going to be more active weather coming in from the western sides of the Gulf of Mexico to spell some showers into this spot. So let's get into the forecast, friends, as we do so. Thank you for liking the video. It's a very simple way to pay back and to help to promote the channel, and I appreciate you guys just very simply and very quickly liking the video. If you haven't subscribed to Meteo Mundo, thank you for doing so as well. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends. You can find ways to support the channel, the memberships, the super thanks, and other ways in the video description below as well. Okay, so now we're going to get into the forecast here and how this is going to break down over the next couple of days. The first thing I actually want to do here is pop up these wind vectors. Look, this time of the year, one big story is going to be the wind, the cold fronts coming in, and how that is going to impact surf and sea conditions, okay? We continue to see developing gale conditions in a couple of areas, and now we're going to have some really strong easterlies kicking back in through portions of the Caribbean to keep some elevated high sea conditions coming up. As a kind of example of the offshore waters on the south side of Jamaica, they've had some high sea advisories lately as well to go along with all of the high surf and sea conditions on the northern sides of Hispaniola, the eastern sides of Cuba, Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and portions of the Lesser Antilles as well. Long period swells, just elevated sea conditions in general. Bermuda has been dealing with near gale conditions, and they'll continue with very brisk westerlies that will turn out of the north here as an area of low pressure passes by. But you get into those whites, guys, those are going to be winds of over 30 knots sustained. So 30 to 35 knots in a couple of spots there. These easterlies will freshen up. You can clearly see that over the next couple of days. We've had a bit of a northerly component to the wind lately, which is why the rain has favored the northern sides of the islands with the extra cloud coverage, but the winds will switch a little bit more due east. They may be a little bit more east-northeast than due east out of 90 degrees, but this is still going to push some moisture across the Caribbean, fast-moving showers, and elevating the sea conditions across most of the Caribbean, I mean, all the way to the Caribbean coastline of Central America. So my friends in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, which have enjoyed some pretty nice, comfortable, cool northeasterly breezes, the winds are more turning out of the east. You're already feeling that a bit on the southern sides of the island. Again, Kingston warming back up again. And then down the road, I've got a significant storm system in the southern plains of the United States to talk about, which will be bringing some impacts to our area. But for the short term, let's get into what the rainfall looks like over the next 3 days. Of course, I've got your island by island rainfall forecast as well. As always, you have a specific question about what's going to be happening in your area, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. If you just want to say hi, I appreciate that as well. Look, just saying hi helps the engagement of the video, helps YouTube's algorithm, and promotes the channel a little bit more. So I appreciate that. We'll start off in the Lesser Antilles. This is an area that is actually going to have high rain chances the next 3 days. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to be relatively wet. No, the rain is not going to add up to a lot in most spots, but the chance for rain is going to be 50, 60, even 70% across the islands through Saturday afternoon. So we'll start on the northern side of the island here. There's not a huge difference. I do expect the northern half of the island chain to have a slightly better chance for some rain. The moisture content's just a little bit higher here right now, but you can see the passing showers over Anguilla and St. Bart's and Saba, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Antigua, Barbuda, and Guadeloupe. So there's not going to be a lot of concentration, but those easterly winds that I just showed you will continue to throw enough moisture in play where you should expect rain almost every day in the islands over the next 3 days. Again, maybe it adds up to 1 to 2 inches, at most 25 to 50 millimeters. So we're not talking about the downpours of August and September, but we are talking about a high chance for some rain. And you can continue to see the moisture streaming in to Dominica and Martinique and St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Barbados. All of these areas will have relatively high chances as well. More passing showers for Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and areas off towards the south, but you can see that moisture is still into play. In the same situation for the northeast sides of South America, places like Suriname and Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago will see some passing showers as well. Nueva Esparta will catch a couple of these showers. The ABC Islands, the fetch of moisture is not going to be as significant here. I think the prominent moisture is just to the north of you guys, but I do have a 20% chance for showers the next couple of days, but it's not going to be as high of a chance as what we had here recently. Back on over towards Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, rain chances will remain high for Anegada and Virgin Gorda and Roadtown, Joseph Van Dyke, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, especially the northern and the eastern sides of the islands. Vieques and Culebra and Fajardo and San Juan will have better rain chances compared to places like Bahamas and Ponce. Doesn't mean Arecibo and Aguadilla won't get a couple of showers, but still going to favor the northeast sides of the islands with this easterly wind. It'll be the same situation across the Dominican Republic and Haiti as well. Places like Puerto Plata, the Samana Peninsula, Punta Cana, better rain chance compared to La Romana and Santo Domingo and Bajarona, but even our southern areas will have a couple of scattered showers. Now we do have the rain shadow effect with the higher terrain here, meaning that Haiti, especially towards Port-au-Prince, will be much drier. Can't rule out a couple of showers there along the peninsula of Haiti towards Lakai. We get as far west as Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Cuba, and rain chances are going to fall. Look, I don't have a significant rain chance here for my friends in Jamaica the next few days. You should expect many dry hours and locations. Doesn't mean a couple of passing showers won't occur. If you catch some of those, let me know. If you've had a little bit of rain the last couple of days, let me know as well. Again, it's been few and far between, but Morant Bay and Kingston and Linstead and Hayes and Mandeville, passing shower or two is not out of the question. Montego Bay Negril, being on the western side of the island, should be slightly drier. It's the same situation for my friends in the Cayman Islands. You catch a shower. Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, Grand Cayman, the next couple of days, consider yourself somewhat lucky. Generally speaking, it's going to be beautiful conditions there. Now, rain chances will remain decent through most of Central America. You can see the showers across Panama and Costa Rica and Nicaragua. We'll see that easterly wind throw in just a little bit of rain over portions again of northern Honduras and Belize. Again, it's passing showers more than anything here, guys, but it's not completely dry. Belize City towards Dangriga on over inland towards places like Orange Walk and San Ignacio. It's about a 30% chance most days. We'll look at that coming up. Do expect it to be drier up towards Quintana Roo, Cancun and Cozumel, towards Tulum, Chetumal could catch a couple of showers as well. Again, Cuba's rain chances are relatively sparse, and it's the same situation for my friends in the Bahamas. I've got about a 20% chance for showers here tomorrow for places like Walker's Key, on over towards Grand Bahama and the Abacos and Bimini, Andros, Nassau, New Providence, and Eleuthera. And then it's about a 10% chance for the central and the southeast Bahamas, including Cat Island and Exuma, San Salvador, towards the Acklins, Mayaguana, and Turks and Caicos as well. With the wind for Bermuda, we're actually going to have a storm system swing by. Again, very typical here as we get towards mid-January, where we're going to not only get the wind, but some fast-moving showers and some strong westerlies there. So here's how it plays out island by island. We'll start off with the Northwest Bahamas, 20% chance the next couple of days, 10 on Saturday. Very sparse central and southeast. pretty sparse Turks and Caicos with isolated showers for Cuba and the Cayman Islands. Again, Belize City's rain chances are slightly higher for tomorrow than drier Friday and Saturday. Not expecting much rain at all, so some good vacation conditions for Cancun and Cozumel. Not much of a change for Jamaica as well. 20% chance tomorrow, just 10% Friday, Saturday. Here's your elevated rain chances again. Still area dependent on the islands. Will favor the northern and the eastern sides, but just higher rain chances overall. 50 to a 60% chance the next 3 days in the Dominican Republic. Puerto Rico's rain chances are 50% tomorrow, drying out for a brief time on Friday. But look at the rain chance on Saturday, back up to a 70% chance in Puerto Rico on Saturday. The U.S. and British Virgin Islands, scattered showers Thursday, Friday. High rain chances Saturday. Bermuda's rain chances stay relatively high the next few days. Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, here we go. Now we're starting to really jack up those rain chances. Again, the total rain is not exceptionally high, but the rain chance each day is high. 50, 60, 70% chance. Antigua, Barbuda, 60 tomorrow, 50 Friday, 70 Saturday, 60 across the board for Montserrat, building up to a 60% chance in Guadeloupe on Saturday. We're up to 60 on Friday. In Dominica, same situation on Saturday. A little bit lower chances, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines South. But for mid-January, this isn't bad. 40 to a 50% chance. SVG 30 to 40. Barbados 40 tomorrow, 30 Friday, 40 Saturday, 30 to 40 Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago as well. High seas alert are in effect for TNT. Watch out for the swells in Barbados as well. Again, if you're a mariner, sailor, please keep that in mind. You know the local waters and what's going to be happening, but we've got elevated conditions. Suriname and Guyana, 40 to a 50% chance. And again, lower chances now for Nueva Esparta and the ABC Islands as well. Well, speaking of those waves, is significant. As I've mentioned, gale conditions redeveloping in the western Atlantic that could push the eastern sides of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, the northern sides of the Greater and Lesser Antilles. Watch the flare-up of the waves across the Caribbean. That is going to be a story as well. Notice that those arrows turn more due east as we get toward the end of the weekend and early into the week. So some long period swells will be coming along for the ride. And that's the next storm system right here, late next week, about 7-8 days out. I'm going to highlight in a second, and I'm going to let this run one more time so you guys get an idea of that. Again, turning out of the east over the weekend. And then here comes this next developing area of low pressure in the Western Gulf, and that will have some influence in our area. Need to make sure they work. Might need to change the battery. All right, European rainfall totals look like this. We'll continue to favor the western areas through Central America, portions of the Lesser Antilles, Bermuda, and portions of the southeast United States. Now, what's interesting is this next developing system tries to bring a swath of heavier rain towards the northern portions of the Yucatan, maybe through the Straits of Florida, South Florida, North Cuba, and eventually into the Bahamas. Now, that's 7 days down the road. You can see by the end of this 7-day, the swath kind of stops here, but if we extend this out, we could have a little bit heavier rain down the road here. Again, we favor the Caribbean with the easterly fetch coming in, so portions of the Lesser Antilles, maybe just north of the ABC Islands, and there you can clearly see the higher totals overall on the northern sides of places like Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the Dominican Republic as well. This is what it looks like on the GFS model, so that was the European. And again, a couple of spots here in the Lesser Antilles over the next few days would expect us to be pushing over an inch of rain. That's what those purples are. So you can see it's going to be very scattered. Nothing is going to be widespread. Nothing is going to be, extremely heavy, but, Tobago over an inch of rain is possible. Same thing for Grenada, Carriacou on over towards St. Vincent and Barbados. There's our friends in Martinique. Notice again the eastern side of the island with better chances for rain. Solid, but nothing out of the ordinary here for Barbuda and St. Martin and Antigua and St. Kitts and Nevis. And there's your northeasterly winds driving a little bit more rain towards Anegada. How about Culebra, Vieques, Fajardo on the eastern sides and the coastal islands of Puerto Rico? Much better rain chances here compared to the southwest sides. And you'll see that, again, same situation from Puerto Plata towards Sabana. But Santo Domingo gets in on the act. Maybe a ½ inch of rain in Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, maybe about same situation. There's your rain shadow effect with the higher terrain, really dries out over Haiti. Not much rain expected again overall for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Solid rain totals continue here. Most of this is offshore, but a few inches of rain, 25 to 75 millimeters off the coastline of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Again, down the road, maybe we catch some heavier rain right on the tip of Cancun and Cozumel and the Yucatan. You can start to see that moisture feeding over, and again, eventually that could bring some heavier rain to portions of the Bahamas. Now I want to talk about real quickly the storm system down the road. So I am going to take this out, and we're going to go all the way out here till about the 25th. And I'm going to loop this up. So this is down the road, with today being what, the 15th. So it's going to take a quick second here to load up. But look, this time of the year, we get these stronger cold fronts coming out of the United States Southeast, right? A lot of times it impacts places like the Bahamas and Bermuda with some heavy rain and wind. But this next one that's going to be coming in that 7+ day time frame is going to take much more of a due southerly route, okay? The first thing I want you to notice here when I pause this, I'm going to let this loop up one more time. And I may not have the precip type one loaded here. I'm going to try and load this up. There could actually be some snow into South Texas with this next system. I don't know if the precip type one's going to loop up fast enough for us here. I'm going to let it go one time through the 25th. So stick with me here. Hopefully it'll pop on as soon as it starts to load up one more time, and hopefully it stays. So this is the precip type. So obviously pink is your winter mixed sleet and ice, and then your white is going to be your snow. And it's very interesting. There is true Arctic air that's going to be diving down deep into the southern plains of the United States, right? All the models are hinting at some extremely cold weather. So by this time next week, we could be talking about some snow as far south as San Antonio and Houston. Maybe it's just slushy snow mixed in with a little bit of sleet and freezing rain, but you get the idea of the colder weather. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous that, you know, even coastal Louisiana might be dealing with some kind of wintry precip mix. Again, that's about 6-7 days out. But for our area, take a look at this. Watch this huge ball of rain and moisture drift off towards the south. So I would expect us now to start to see some much higher rain chances for Yucatan, portions of Central America, that then spreads over Cuba, the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, eventually towards Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, and maybe even Hispaniola again. Much more active pattern mid to late next week, with that low dropping much farther south and pulling a lot of moisture with it. Something to keep in mind, something I will keep an eye on for next week here across our area. Friends, you can follow us across all social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. As I mentioned, you want to send me a picture or video, it's mymeteomundo@gmail.com. If you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. Again, want to thank our sponsor here of Meteo Mundo, the Lean Law Firm out of Central Florida. They are your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They're covering the entire state, homeowners, condo owners, and associations. Anything that could impact your property or yourself, they're there to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process, offering free consultations and policy reviews. All you have to do is go to leanonmelaw.com or 407-502-0053. Friends, you have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'm back soon with the latest forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Until then, you take care. I'll see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.